Hi, my name is Peter Muchibi from Uganda. I'm 41 years old and I am the creative director at Admire, a company I founded way back in 2009 together with two friends of mine. And it's been quite the journey because we started out at the dining table, and then from there we moved on into the garage, and slowly we kept on growing. And mainly what we focus on is we do a lot of design and we develop brands for different companies as well as visual effects for film. So this is a very, should I say, rare profession, especially here in Africa. When you mention visual effects, all you think about is companies like Marvel, you know, that do the superhero movies. Yeah, but that's what we've been focusing on for the past 14 years.
The world of men is not to be played.
When I was a young child growing up, I loved art a lot. And it was my passion even when I was in school. And even as I kept on, growing up, I took it as a subject. And then at a certain point in my life, when I was met with the decision of what career path should I take, of course, I had the pressure of, you need to be an engineer or you need to be a doctor, like many young people do with African families. And I remember very well telling God that, how can I use my talents, to serve you? And that was a struggle for me in as much as I worked in church for some time. When I left the church, all of a sudden I was in the marketplace, which you would call the jungle, everybody's ruthless, everybody, wants to step on the other. And I decided to go by like the Bible principles in the way I was doing my work or, attending to my calling. And I felt like, the more I expressed Christianity and kingdom values in my workplace, values like excellence, values like honesty, values like love and care towards your peers and colleagues. And, for me, that's one of the ways that I've been doing it in my journey and in my career, and for a very long time, people have always looked at our company as, I would say, quote unquote, Christians, those church boys. But it's something that we are proud of in the sense that every time we meet our clients, they know that they are engaging us at a level whereby we have so much integrity to uphold. And even when we are serving, simple things like a client calls you, you pick up the call. When I entered this industry, a lot of the young people who were artists at the time, most of the complaints that the clients used to have was that every time you call designers, they never pick up their phone. And I was like, we will be different as Admire. We will be that company that gives the best experience to our clients in terms of expressing our Christian values and walking a straight walk. Turn fast to the camera and say, so tune in, Okay. When it comes to excellence, in my view, it's a very personal expression of how you do everything, whether it's doing the dishes or it's making a logo for a client. So as Christians, it's important that, we don't just live with the title, but we express it, we act it out, and through that, you can be a blessing to many. You can be a blessing to hurting people out there because the world can be a very cruel place. We've seen it when you look at things like the suicide rates. It's tough, So whenever you're in a workplace and you know that for sure God has changed your heart, God has called you for something, it's important that you allow yourself to express that. It doesn't have to be with you walking into, your workplace with a Bible and then you place it next to your computer, because that's not what people, want to see. People want to see How do you react when someone shouts at you, How do you react when someone is in need, When someone is cleaning the floor, do you make it dirtier because there's someone who's going to clean it? Or are you going to be like, let me carry myself in a way that helps the other person do their job? And the way that we are doing it as a company is to just make sure that, one, we always come out as an excellent company, because that's one of the values of God, as in excellence. And every time we take on a job, we try to ensure that at the end of the day, the client is happy and he feels that we've given even more than what, let's say they paid for.